in my friend Max's basement, crowded around the Ouija board we'd found in his attic. Halloween night. All of us hopped up on candy and scary stories, daring each other to try and reach out to the other side. It was dim, with only a few flickering candles casting shadows on the walls, and everyone had that nervous excitement kids get when they're on the edge of doing something they know they probably shouldn't. Max placed his fingers on the planchette, grinning wide as he looked at each of us. "Let's ask if anyone's here with us." We all leaned in, our fingers hovering just over the planchette, breathing shallow and holding in nervous giggles. "Is anyone there?" Max asked, his voice barely a whisper. For a few seconds, nothing happened, and we all looked around, snickering nervously. But then, the planchette started to move. At first, I thought it was just Max messing with us, but as it slid slowly toward yes, a chill crept down my spine. None of us were pushing it. Our fingers were barely touching the plastic. Everyone went silent, wide-eyed, exchanging glances. My hands started to sweat. Max, trying to keep the mood light, grinned and asked, "Who are we talking to?" The planchette jerked, moving faster now, as if something was impatient. The letters spelled out a name, Jonah. "Who's Jonah?" I asked, my voice trembling. And then, as if in response, the candles flickered violently. The temperature in the basement seemed to drop, and the air grew thick, oppressive. We sat there, too scared to move, when the planchette started racing across the board on its own. I could feel my fingers getting dragged along like I'd be sucked down into the board if I let go. The planchette kept spelling words, faster and faster, letters and phrases blurring together, words I couldn't understand except for the last one. Hell. Then the smell hit us, like rot, sulfur, and something worse, something rancid and wrong, burning the back of my throat. And that's when we heard it. Footsteps on the basement stairs, slow and heavy, dragging like something crawling up from deep below. Everyone froze. Our eyes shot to the stairs, where a shadow started creeping down. It wasn't Max's parents. They were gone for the night, and it was too big, too wrong. The figure was tall, thin, almost skeletal, its head lolling to one side as it made its way toward us. Its skin was stretched thin over its face, taut and gray, with dark, empty pits for eyes. And the smile, its lips were peeled back, exposing teeth sharp as broken glass, as if they'd been filed down. The others backed up, but I was paralyzed, my hands still frozen on the planchette as it spelled out over and over again. Jonah. 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 The thing stopped just a few feet from us, its head snapping to each kid in turn, that empty gaze settling on every one of us before landing on me. It opened its mouth, but instead of words, a low, gurgling hiss came out, like something dead trying to speak. And then, in one quick movement, it lunged. Chaos erupted. Max screamed, stumbling backward and knocking over one of the candles, which sputtered out. The thing grabbed him, fingers like bone digging into his shoulders, black sludge seeping out and burning through his shirt, his skin, making him scream louder, his flesh blistering and peeling where it touched him. I scrambled to my feet, grabbing the Ouija board and hurling it across the room, desperate to break whatever connection we'd made. But the thing didn't stop. It turned on another kid, grabbing his face, its fingers sinking into his skin, pulling, tearing, until I saw his jaw begin to separate, skin stretching, blood spilling as his screams turned into a wet, choking gurgle. I could barely breathe, frozen in horror as it turned to me, that grin stretching impossibly wide. I felt something cold run down my spine, like it was inside my head, inside my thoughts. "You invited me," it rasped, voice crackling, echoing in my skull. It lunged again, fingers reaching for my throat, but I screamed and bolted up the stairs, not looking back. The sound of its hissing, its wet, choking laughter, followed me all the way out the door and into the night. We never found the board again, and Max, he never spoke about that night, not even to me. But on Halloween each year, I can still feel it, the cold fingers pressing on my neck.